Good morning, the Queen City Picker family. Hope everybody's having a great morning.
We're all one big happy family.
One big happy family. And how are you this morning, Todd?
I already told you.
Yeah, but they weren't online. We weren't online then.
Okay, I'm fine.
You got a lot going out today.
Yesterday was like 5 orders for whatever, $150 a day. Better than zero.
Yeah,
How about you? You got 20 going out?
no, I had
No.
one.
Oh, you sold something.
Yeah,
Yay!
a set of brake pads.
Sweet.
Okay, let's see who's all in the comments before we. Jabus, good morning. Hank, good morning. Good morning, Ping. Bumcrack. I really appreciate Ping stopping by here because it's what 6 o'clock in the morning. Her time. She gets up just to listen to two old men complain about life. Mr. Bumcrack, how's things
Oh,
across the big pond?
she gets like 5 naps a day.
That sounds good. Vintage. Glad you're here. Sandy, always a pleasure. Mr. Sadie, aren't you supposed to be at work? Because he's only an hour behind us, isn't he?
Who's an
Uh,
hour behind us?
Actually, oh, James, you've got electrical issues this morning. John Jones, good morning.
Bum, 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 bum.
Um,
Do, 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 do.
well, I hope you get your electrical problem fixed, Jabus. How was I try and take 2 naps a day? That sounds like a winner.
2 naps a day.
Oh Lord. So how's everybody else's sales been in the chat? Y'all been rocking and rolling?
Bum, 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 bum.
Well, apparently not. Lag. Did I miss you up there, Lag? Or are you late this morning? Lag's late.
Help our city. Sandy, Hank, Ping, Jabus, Lag, Bumcrack.
Um,
Windy in England.
he's a bad breaker. I'm not an electrician, but that's just what I think.
No sales. Putting some inventory on sale. I need to do a bunch more purging.
Well, why don't you do one of those online auction things like Scott does? What's it called? Whatnot.
Oh, Lord. I don't know. Because nobody on Whatnot would want. I have like 100 polo shirts for sale, right? They're nice shirts by name brand manufacturers.
Right.
And I do those because I get them for about 50 cents at the Lutherans.
Right. Good morning, Carl.
And they're no brain, when I'm doing listings that I just want no-brainer listings to do. I list a bunch of polo shirts and stuff. But now my closet is so cram-packed, I can't. I've got a kind of a dedicated spot in a closet that all those shirts are hung up.
Are they heavy material?
They're just polo shirts, polyester and cotton polo shirts.
Right. Well, I've got some polo shirts that are heavier than the other shirts, the other ones. That's the reason I was asking. Because that's the thing about clothing. You know, some of it's heavy, and when you're dealing with shipping, that's important faction.
Yeah, I'd say it's about a half and half mix of, a bunch of them will ship at a 12-ounce rate and some of them over a pound. So,
Right.
but I try to make that distinction when I'm putting the price for shipping on them.
Jabez,
But when
I
you
had
got
a
100 shirts and they're selling maybe twice a week, but there you go.
good morning, Carl. Carl. Um, we had a breaker that would even when you flipped it, it did not make connection. You know, so I had to go find a breaker for it, and the breakers are hard to find for this box. So at some point, we're going to end up spending about $5,000 to have the breaker box replaced because it's the outside one that's the issue. And we've kind of put it off, and at some point, we're going to have it done.
$5,000 to have a breaker box installed.
Yeah, it's the one that's outside. This thing was installed in the 70s.
Yeah, that's,
So nothing's probably to code these days.
yeah, about 2/3 of my house are still on 2 prong plugs.
Todd, it sounds like you're backing away from your mic.
Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you now.
I'm backing away from my mic.
Oh, really? That sucker. That sucks, John.
Ba-bum.
Who was CWP?
CWP.
Yeah, Ping says CWP has a district account for selling in large quantities for resale.
That would be Commonwealth Picker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's okay, lag. Well, you could try something like that, or you could just sell them piecemeal. Two for two. Um, Scott seems to be doing fairly well with the whole whatnot thing. I think his biggest thing right now is emptying units and kind of working up to some of the good stuff. My director is asking any cool finds because he's manipulating the show this morning, which is good. So, did anybody have any cool finds? Anybody done any sourcing?
I am looking at a school auction. They're tearing down Waco Public School, Waco High School.
Are you going to buy it?
The whole school? No. They're having an auction of the contents that they don't want anymore. Man, there's a whole bunch of stuff that they're just, I don't know why they're getting rid of it, because it could still be used by the schools. And I'm like, for instance, in the band hall, they're selling all the chairs.
Okay, hold it a second. Do you wanna call up your site and I'll put it on the screen and you can talk while it looks show pictures while you're talking? Or are you scared that
Well,
Texas will come in there and buy everything? Huh?
if you want to do that, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, it's something to talk about and people can see.
Okay, share screen.
Yeah, John says taxpayers paid for the stuff. Taxpayers will pay for the new replacement stuff. They don't care.
Wait, that didn't work. Or did it? Yeah, I guess it did.
It did. You're on the screen now, so don't show bank records or anything.
Okay, for instance, I'm wondering why. Let me get to something that they probably shouldn't sell.
Todd was a band director. He was always begging for money.
Yeah, speaking of band, can you see this?
Yeah.
That's basically all of the music stands in the band hall.
And those are the good ones.
And they're really good Winger music stands. Why don't they just take those over to the new school and use them there? To me, that's crazy. Let's see. And then they're selling all of the band hall chairs. Look at it. They're just stacks and stacks of chairs. They're good chairs. Why are they selling those?
You're not in this school district, correct? This is in, I start to say Waxhaw. That's not where.
This is Waco. Waco High School. I could see why they would sell like the kitchen equipment. Yeah. Right. They're not going to use this kitchen anymore, and somebody can go in there and unbolt it from the floor and take it.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't want any of that crap. It's way too big for me. Man, if I had a crew.
What is that warehouse
white thing?
Okay, stop. Go up 2 squares. Where you point your cursor's at, go up. There's a refrigerator, it looks like, and then there's a white thing right above it.
There's a refrigerator. What?
Okay, go up one. What's that white thing? Yeah.
It's just like office seating.
Furniture. Okay. And was there like a baby grand up there?
Yeah, there's like a couple of pianos and.
Yeah, right there.
Electric piano.
Right. And then there's a. What's that to the left of that one?
Some more electric pianos.
Oh, that's electric pianos. They just got them stacked.
That's too big for me. I ain't gonna ship that crap.
Yeah.
So here you go. All these sousaphone holders. Why are they? The high school band's gonna have sousaphones. Why don't they take the sousaphone holders over to the new school? I don't get it. But there's
Kent. Excuse me, Todd. Hey, Kent. It's great to see you this morning. You always put a smile on my face.
Maybe they have toothbrush holders.
Toothbrush holders. Oh,
but just
what is all that? Go down. What's all this stuff right here at the bottom of your screen? Yeah, right there. What's all that stuff?
This?
No, down one.
It's just a classroom with tables and shelves and. cabinet and chairs. What do you mean?
I was just curious. There's a lot of it. And stop,
What?
stop. Uh, from the top of the screen, 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks down, two over from the left.
It's just a classroom.
Okay, it just when the picture compresses. Oh God.
So who's gonna? If you're not another school district, why would you buy this? They're gonna have trouble selling a lot of this.
Oh,
Now I would like the cart with the printer and the projector.
is that a printer? I
That
thought.
top thing is.
Okay.
That's a printer.
I thought it was a. I was having flashback to 1973. I thought it was a overhead projector.
Oh, this stuff isn't that old. But let me show you some of the stuff I would be interested in.
We'll do it.
Here we have. I could deal with some of this. These are drum stands and cymbal stands. Look, there's a hi-hat stand. And these are all snare drum and cymbal stands.
Wow.
That stuff would sell.
Now, is it going to be a? Oh, it's an on-site auctions.
Yeah, you got to be there Tuesday. This auction's Tuesday, so I'll miss your show Tuesday. I'm going to go to this.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say you do that because like those music stands, not music stands, the drum stands and stuff like that. You could put a lot of those in the back of your truck once you fold them down.
And now here's some stuff that I would want. Look at all these microscopes.
Wow.
I figured I kind of looked up one of the models that I could read, and it was like a $40 microscope on eBay. So if you could buy a pile of them for 20, 30 bucks, you know.
Yeah, because what's most people going to be doing with stuff like that? You know, what?
See, check it out. Look at all these microscopes here.
Wow.
Just
What's below? What's that? Those little boxes below it? To go right there.
those.
Yeah.
Those look like heating pads.
Okay. Because I didn't know whether they were the heating pads or the things like you said a glass on and it vibrates in a way that it like a centrifuge.
But I don't know if they're going to sell this stuff if they went piece by piece, the auction would last 2 weeks because this is a lot of stuff. So they have to group some stuff up.
Right.
But these are all neatly put away microscopes.
Right.
I'd like to buy a whole bunch of those, but I mean, we'll see. You never know at an auction who's going to be bidding against you.
On Thursday, we'll see in the local newspaper, Mrs. Gwen Parker divorces her husband of many years.
Yeah.
What's that pink thing?
It's the microscope cover.
Oh, okay.
There's a microscope under it.
Dang,
check it out. They got rows and rows of these microscopes.
Surely they're going to do like
bunch of different brands. I would think they would all be the same, but they're not. There's a bunch of different kinds.
Surely they're going to go, okay, our next lot is all these microscopes on this.
Carl says that's the girls' microscopes.
Oh, is it?
Let's see. They also had one of those autoclaves. Now those are over $1,000 of value.
But they look like they had some. I'm not talking about the student desk. I'm talking about like work desk or office desk. They've got some nice modern desk in there. That is that a printer?
That's one of those big vinyl banner printers.
Oh, is it? You gonna try and get that?
God, no, I don't want to ship that. I had one of those before, and I sold it on Facebook Marketplace, though. So, but they got just kitchen stuff, a lot of kitchen stuff. Look at all these stainless steel baking pans.
Oh, I'd like to have some of those. Just to
There has
put
to be
stuff on.
100 of those great big, the
Right.
back when schools used to cook in their cafeterias
Right.
instead of.
Everything's brought in from a central kitchen.
Right.
What is all
But
these red floored bit rooms?
that looks
Gym?
like a locker room
Yeah.
lockers.
Lag said he would buy the printer. Yeah, those full sheet pans.
Yeah, how much is one of those great big vinyl printers? But who's gonna buy the bleachers? Not me.
Well, a small school that's like private schools and stuff like that, and
I guess.
I mean, there's companies that'll come in and buy that stuff and they'll ship it. I mean, because that's what they do, and they'll ship it to Podunk, North Dakota.
Look at this walk-in freezer. How you even gonna get that out the door?
Oh, those commercial kitchen companies that have a crew come in there and yank that sucker out because they come apart.
Dang, I don't want to be the crew that has to move that.
I know.
You got to come into the cafeteria with a forklift to get that out of there.
Um,
But just stuff. You want to buy a tennis court? Take down the fence and all
those rich people in Texas will be buying that to put up there around their tennis courts or make a tennis court. Yeah, charter schools. I don't know if they have charter schools in Texas though, Javis, but yeah, charter schools and.
Here's a very nice coffee grinder. I looked this up and it's like $300.
Wow, you gonna try and get that?
It's called a Mazzen. Mazze. Is it Matt? I can't read it. Mazzem. Let's look that up.
Carl, a charter school is a private school that is part of the state school system. If that makes any sense, they get school funding from the state.
So there's one of these sitting there.
But they're privately run. North Carolina has a little bit of oversight on them, but not much. And that's a big thing with the charter schools, bringing more charter schools online. People don't like it that they're using state funds, but they're not. There's no oversight because some of them go busted.
So this one sold for $300. So yeah, one of them was just sitting there in the kitchen area.
Yeah, that printer. So you could buy the printer and send, mark it up a little bit and send it to, and then Lag could buy it from you and he could deal with the long term. What the crap?
But who's going to buy all these desks and chairs and stuff? I don't know. And why don't they just take all this stuff to the new school? It's still good. There's a washer dryer. There's a stove. There's another stove. There's a refrigerator.
Where's all the trays at for the cafeteria? Or do they have waiters bring it out on tables and put their plates on the tables?
Oh, you want to buy all the library shelves? Here you go.
Golly. There's some Texas resellers that sell all the dadgum CDs and stuff like that need those. But those are double-sided, aren't they?
Looks like.
Dang, you could put a lot of CDs and books. The booksellers need those.
And there's just rows and rows of these.
Yeah, they don't exactly, Javis. They don't want to deal with moving all that stuff because those school maintenance workers, they'll have to do some work instead of riding around in their truck.
But yeah, there's tons of filing cabinets and roller. I had a couple of these that I sold.
What are they?
They're those cabinets you put goggles in to sanitize them
Oh,
with
okay.
UV light.
Really? Good morning,
Yeah,
Beth.
I don't want to deal with something that big again. The ones I had before had boxes, so I was able to just slap a label on them and send them.
Right.
And they were good money, but geez, they were a pain to ship. Oh, and there's some robotic stuff. It's kind of interesting. This is like a robotic something.
Right.
It's like a science fair project or something.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sadie. I forgot that you were in here.
What? What about him?
Because I said, those maintenance workers, they're not going to want to move all that stuff. They're all they want to do is ride around in their truck.
That's
Mr.
right.
Sadie, I'm assuming that was for me. He goes, "Hey, hey," all in capital letters. But look at those chairs. Those are some heavy duty chairs there
I know.
now.
Look at these good wood library chairs. They're just stacks of
That's what I'm
chairs
talking
in this
about.
auction.
That is sad. I mean that they're not using this stuff. Um,
They're not going to use it in the new school they're building.
yeah, it's sad that they're not because apparently since they're selling off all this stuff, the other school is ready to go. They could have got the football players to take them out there and load them in the back of Mr. Sadie's truck. Even though that's not Mr. Sadie's school district, but uh, boy,
But
look at
just
all that shelving.
tons of good shelving. This looks like the inside of that walk-in freezer.
Yeah,
But the shelving's still good. Be nice to get a couple of those to bring home. Shelving goes expensive at auctions, though.
yeah, because it's probably commercial, like kitchen.
Okay, here's a meat slicer. I'd like to get that and
Oh
sell it.
yeah, those are always good.
Those are expensive. And there's a scale done. No, that's a blender.
Yeah,
Or part of a blender. I don't know what that is. But that's one of those good, big commercial meat slicers.
right.
Schools don't cook like that anymore, except in their central kitchens. But
Yeah, that's I. What's okay? That's to the left of the white chairs. That's the band. Is that the band stands?
yep,
No. Do they have any like just stuff? Like somebody said something about like paper and all of that
I
kind of
didn't see
stuff.
any paper. There's a ton of trophy cabinets. Uh,
Mr. Sadie, you talk about stuff they want to get rid of that you could put in the back of your truck, and you say, "Let it go, let it go, let it go." I'm not the singer, by the way. Todd's the singer.
I wish I knew computers better because there's some computer equipment, printers and
Monitors.
monitors, and I guess if nobody else is bidding on it, I can. But I wonder if they're going to like walk. Okay, the auction here is for the contents of this classroom, and you're going, no, I just want the printer that's in there. I wonder if you could. I don't know.
That's what I was. It says quick sale. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, it's a one-day auction on a Tuesday, so a lot of people aren't even going to be able to.
Good morning, Craig.
But I'd love to pick up all those microscopes, and I'd love to pick up. Where was that autoclave? That thing's expensive. See if I can find it. I'm looking. And I don't see it now.
Down in the instructions, does it not say how they're going to be auctioning this stuff off?
It just says live auction only.
Because surely they're going to be going like that shelf right there. Okay, let's stop right there for a minute. They're going to go, you get the shelf and all its contents. Let's start the bidding off at $20. Whatever.
I guess. I don't
Because
know.
good Lord, like you said, it would take this thing would have to start at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it still wouldn't be done by midnight that night.
These are all robotics. You see the little thing on wheels there?
Right.
It's got an arm on it that reaches out and grabs crap. Kind of like those battle bots. You ever
Right.
watch those videos of battle bots?
Mm-hmm. What's that down on the bottom? Computers?
Those are parts to
Robots?
robotics. So there you go. I don't know. I'm gonna go over there Tuesday and see if I can get some stuff, but I saw several mini fridges.
You get you one and put it out there by your desk so you don't have to go in the house.
I haven't
Like
got any
says, get the
room in here.
robotics.
I know.
And like all those
Yeah, 100%
lockers
get
right
the
there.
robotics. Huh?
All those lockers right there.
Yeah, just
I mean,
all the hallways are just lined with these, and just.
now the school that my boys went to, when the private school they went to, they wanted to put lockers in, and our headmaster, I said, uh, he said they're just too expensive. Buying them off the rack. That would be the way to do it right there. I think you're going to begin. Let me start all over again. I think that there's going to be a lot of private schools there because if they can get some of this stuff on the cheap, and private schools are always looking for like small Christian schools and that type of stuff. They're
There
always
it
looking for
is.
stuff on the cheap.
Everybody look up Value Clave. Value, VALUE KLAVE. I want to get that if it's not too, and it's by Tutnauer. But I don't see how.
Damn, Todd.
What?
There's a refurbished one. I don't know what the same model is, but it's no, that's a different brand. Sorry.
Value Clave.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. That's Value Clave is a model. Tutnauer is the manufacturer apparently. This thing, oh, that's brand new. But this refurbished one is 1900. If you find one in a box, that's about 2500.
Yeah.
But the parts for those things, oh, that's brand new parts. Brand new parts. Brand new.
So there you go. Okay, I'm done sharing.
Well, here's a pre-owned model 1730 MKV, and it's 1350 with $150. Oh, that's shipping delivery.
Lag, it's a live thing, so you have to be here
They jump on the jet and run out there, son.
by the flagpole. So
So
if you're
what
a
is it?
reseller and there's auctions all around the country for all kinds of stuff. How do some people not have enough stuff to sell or enough good stuff to sell? I mean, we just saw rows of microscopes that are
Yeah.
worth probably $40 a piece. And if they auction pretty cheaply, I mean, how do you not have enough stuff to sell?
Probably a lot of people don't want to deal with it.
Deal with what?
Boxing them up and shipping them.
A microscope?
Yeah. Because they get knocked out of calibration and all that kind of stuff.
Just get a 16, 12, 8 box and shove it in there with a lot of padding. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Scott, are you going to be headed to Waco?
Is Scott even here?
I don't know whether he is or not. I was shouting out in case he's listening. Get the robotics. We have the government surplus auctions here in Ottawa. Oh, he's in Canada. He's in Canada.
Yeah, there's government surplus, there's military surplus, there's...
But you know what? A lot of back when I used to go to a lot of live auctions, even before I moved to Charlotte, some of this stuff was crap, and it would go for insane prices. I mean, I was standing beside a guy one time, and there were this was offered by the sheriff's department where they had confiscated stuff or abandoned stuff and whatnot, and they had like four Mercury outboard motor gas tanks, the reddish orange ones that were metal, real gas tanks. And this guy was bidding on them and bidding on them, and he says, "I really want one of those." And he kept bidding and bidding and bidding. I said,
Okay, Val.
you can go to the Rock Hill Marine and buy a brand new one for less than that." And he's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, because my brother just bought one." But I think people just get into it's like a bidding frenzy.
Everybody's coming to Texas to bid me up.
Yeah.
Look at the comments.
I'm looking at it.
Y'all are low
I'll
life.
see you at the auction, Todd. Val, how far are you from Waco?
She's around 2-hour drive for her to get up there.
Jabez says can't chat anymore. Well, if you leave on Saturday, you should be there by Tuesday morning.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a truckload of them now he hasn't listed yet.
Auction meetup, everyone. I wonder, there's a whole bunch of stuff that they didn't show. Like they didn't show any of the contents of the restrooms, or what else did they not show? Like trade stuff, like in my high school they had a full area where you could learn how to weld and a wood shop class and that kind of stuff.
Val, take one of the flatbeds and head to Waco. You're such an ass, Lag.
Ping doesn't want it. Ping's got a whole garage full of leftover wood shop stuff. She's told us before that.
Excuse me, Todd. Jabez hope they get the electrical worked out, and it don't cost you an arm and a leg. Or is it your son that's going to be doing the work for you? You should get the family discount. All right, what were you saying, Todd? I'm sorry.
I forgot. You distracted me.
I'm sorry.
Carl, and I've got old man brain. Carl says the funny thing is, people you will see will be a complete different crowd than other auctions.
Yeah. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of commercial, like furniture buyers and stuff like that, where they can bring in a box truck and four fellas and load all those chairs up in about 30 minutes.
Golly. It's like, what would you do with 400 chairs, What would you do with all those school student desks? They got the chair and the desk.
Right. Well, if you got the warehouse space for them, and you take them in there and you cover them up with um, that paper stuff that like you cover your floor up when you paint, and start selling them off to little schools and whatnot. But you got to have a place to store that crap.
Rent the chairs at weddings, but jeez. Who wants to be in the chair moving business? Not me. I'm too old for that crap.
But you got a point there. These rental places where you can rent all that kind of crap from. They'll like I said, I think that's who you're going to see there for the stuff like the desk and the chairs, and is people with really deep pockets, and they have a use for them already. Or churches that are starting up and they need chairs for their sanctuary or for their Sunday school classes, that type of stuff. Todd.
Ching! What did I sell? Ann Richards on the campaign trail postcards.
Ann Richards, she was the governor of Texas for a while, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
An older lady. But she was a Democrat.
She wasn't. Well, she was, but that's back when Democrats weren't so far out the craziness.
You always need chairs, Carl. Really. Good morning, Mike.
Colts.
Mike will go out there and buy all those damn chairs.
Mm-hmm. Tara.
Are you going to be arrested for public nudity there, Mike?
Check it out. My 90-day total is 22,335.
Damn.
Todd. I'm not hitting my. I'm behind. I'm not hitting my 100,000 a year total.
Because
I'm not that far off, but
this week is 6 months. At the end of this week will be half a year. We'll be going into June.
Let's see. So January, March. So we're 5 months in, right?
Yeah.
So I should be. Let's see, where should I be? I should have about 12.
You should be about 42,000.
Yeah, 41,666,666,666.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
So
send Todd one of those keyboards that's got the calculator built into it.
I've got one over here. I just never use it on the computer. Let's see.
That's the best thing about this keyboard is I can hit that button and the calculator pops up on the screen. A calculator, a keyboard that has the button on it that throws up a calculator function onto the screen. I'm sure you got a dozen of them laying around there.
So year to date, I got 36,000 sales.
So you only need to do 6,000 between now and the end of the month.
5,000.
Okay, 5,000. You can do it.
I'm
Have a sale, Todd.
Behind.
Throw a big sale. Do like do 100% off. 100%. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Promote. No, Craig, you take a long walk off a short pier.
Oh God, at least my headache's gone away.
Dang, Robin. But Robin, you started selling on
Whatnot.
mm-hmm. So
Craig, you need to load up the missus, and y'all need to go to Waco and get her some cooking equipment.
movie theater selling out.
Are you building a theater in your house, Val?
Should probably put an outdoor screen out by her swimming pool and bum, bum. Our movie theater in town is the oldest continuously running movie theater in Texas.
Dang. So it's in the original building?
Yeah, and it's still got the same old wooden seats. It's kind of fun to go down there once in a while and watch a movie, but
God, I don't know the last time we've been to a movie theater.
in the middle of the movie, they stop the movie and say intermission time. Everybody goes out to the lobby and gets a refill.
I kind of got burnt out on movies when I was doing auditing because I saw everything, anything except stuff I don't like slasher, stick people in the eye kind of stuff movies, but anything other than that, I'd while I was waiting for the next showing, I'd go in and watch some of it. So it might take me a month, but I'd see the whole entire movie.
Okay, Val, but I don't know. Movie theater shut down. Seemed like all the theaters in Waco either shut down years and years ago,
Right? Yes.
or they're all the brand new multiplex ones.
Actually, yeah, I did, and I went and saw some stupid movies because of the girl I was dating when I was a teenager.
Let's all go to the lobby. Uh,
And the little food, like the box of candy and sodas and popcorn buckets, would go dancing across the screen.
mm-hmm. The hot dog guy was my favorite.
Does anyone go to the movies anymore?
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
folks.
a lot of people still do. It just costs $100 for a family of four. Yes, they were talkies, Tom. I mean, John. I don't remember the nun talkies unless I'm watching the
Yeah,
old movies on TV.
yeah, he went and saw The Great Dictator. First run.
Y'all harsh.
Wasn't that Charlie Chaplin's first movie?
Uh, I don't think so.
No, it wasn't Charlie Chaplin. Who was it? Was one of those silent film comedians, though.
Right. You met your baseball 755. You met your last girlfriend in the lobby. Now, is she like still with you, or did you cast her aside and move on to?
Bum, 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 bum.
No, You know what the earliest movie I can remember was The Love Bug. And I remember we went and saw a movie at a drive-in, and it was followed up by Cleopatra. With the first viewing was a kids movie, the second viewing was adult themed, and I'm saying not adult as in porn, but adult. Was Cleopatra with Liz Taylor in it. I'm assuming that they anticipated by the time that one started, not that it was dirty or anything like that. It was just not kids would get bored with. They would feel like they'd be asleep.
I've got another auction to share here.
What is that?
We have
I'm coming.
a winery here called the Red Caboose, and they're auctioning off everything. So they only have like 7 lots. So the first lot here is a complete wine bottling
Operation.
operate. You have to buy the whole friggin' thing.
Wow. So you're gonna buy it? Set Gwen up in the wine making
No,
business?
I'm just
Oh.
showing you here. Okay, next one. A complete still.
Is
So
that the same?
they made vodka and uh, all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
Okay, the next lot is the complete contents of distilled booze. So you got whiskey, you've got I think that's vodka, and then you got barrels of oak barrels of distilled spirits.
Dang.
And it's all in one complete lot. Look at these shelves of
Oh,
booze. You got jalapeno vodka and mint vodka and whiskey. And they're selling all that in one. You have to buy every single thing.
the liquor stores would be buying that.
No, I couldn't buy it because I couldn't sell it. And then all the bottled wine.
Well, the wine you could go put down in the wine cellar, Todd, and drink on it for a while. It looked like it worn some backup one. Backup one.
But just hundreds and hundreds of bottles of wine. What?
It must
Yeah,
have won some kind. It won some awards.
they won a bunch of awards for their
I
wines.
don't know why they're going out of business.
No telling.
Which a lot of the brew houses here in Charlotte have closed up.
And then they had a kitchen. So all the stuff in their kitchen area is one lot. It's just crazy. And then one lot is the property. So they got all these grapevines and roses surrounding their buildings. Look at that. Those are all grapevines.
Can you dig them up and move? Well, I guess that's with the building.
Their building is pretty much covered in grapevines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It is cool.
Who could?
Beth.
Somebody will get a great bargain, I imagine. No telling what all that booze is worth.
If it's resellable.
No, there's not room for it at my house, Lag. Kamala has high bid. No, you couldn't. Without a liquor license, you couldn't sell a drop of that.
This is just a statement because I don't know anything about how that stuff works. But do they pay the state liquor tax when they acquire it, or do they pay on when they sell a bottle and they collect the liquor tax, then they submit it to the to the to the state government? Anybody know? Because you're going to get hit with a damn big old liquor tax at some point.
I have no idea.
Texas might not have a liquor tax.
Best Boss has a $2,500 bottle wine closet. Liquor tax.
Well, tell him about it. Where was that one at, Todd?
That's in town here.
Oh, is it?
It's about 2 miles from my house.
Oh. Well, you could go there and buy the wine and just, start fill up a carload and take it to the house. Fill up a carload and take it to the house.
And do what with it? That would be like 6 lifetimes of wine drinking.
You give it away.
If you drank a bottle a day, that would probably last you 100 years.
Don't invite Todd to the Christmas party because he's going to bring. It's going to bring bottles of wine. And you could, let's say Jake scanned the freedom. He's gonna take his big old van. He's gonna go to Texas and he's gonna buy all that wine. I wonder whether he could even transport it across state lines legally.
Well, I'm sure there's a legal way to do it, or hire Smokey and the Bandit to transport it for you.
That's right.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking.
Jake gets Scott to come up there with the minivan. Jake can get Scott to come up there with the minivan and Scott could be the Smokey, could be the Bandit.
There you go.
I'm sorry. I just amuse myself because I can just see them going blasting up the road.
Tag says he'll come over and move it out for me.
Yeah. It's but you're right, Scott, Todd, what you said about the auction with all the microscopes and stuff like that. Now you need to jot down little prices or try to remember little prices on how some of this stuff went when you get to the auction.
I kind of looked up those school microscopes a little bit and kind of figured out eBay price about $40. So if I can get them all for $5 a piece or less, yeah, I'd like to load up a bunch of them.
I just think that you're going to the biggest competition is going to be institutional buyers, corporate buyers. You know, they're going to resell them themselves, or schools that's going to be using it inside of schools. I don't think you're going to have people that's selling on eBay part time come in there and want to buy all those microscopes. But then what you could do is you could just load it, put them on the back of your truck, and sell them off individually to all the resellers. Man, I'd like to have a couple of those. Well, you can have them for $100 a piece. You only pay $20 a piece for them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's going to be an interesting one. Because I'm assuming they have to have it cleared out within a day, or is it by the end of business day?
Yeah, the auction is on the 3rd, and demolition of the school starts on the 7th. So you've got the evening of the 3rd, and then like Wednesday and Thursday next week to get it all out of there.
Right. We'll take the truck and the trailer. So if something comes up for sale that you can, that's cheap because people are not wanting to deal with it, you'll have plenty of room to haul it on. But like that kitchen stuff, I'm sure the restaurant supply companies will be there for that.
I guess.
But anyway, it's 10:02.
Yeah, time for me to slap on the high karate and get over to see the Lutherans.
Oh, that's right. You gotta go see your girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Give them some sweet Todd loving. Jake's gonna have to go down there. Maybe you need to take Jake down there one. He needs to come down and visit you, and you need to take him over there and introduce him to the ladies. Is there any workers that's anywhere close to Jake's age?
No.
Okay, never mind, Jake. I'm gonna find you a wife.
In fact, when I go to the rummage sale, I'm kind of one of the youngsters.
Are you really?
Pretty close, yeah.
Damn. That's a bunch of that's a bunch of old people in one building, and it's not even a nursing home.
Just about everybody at the Lutheran rummage sale is
old people.
Yeah.
Senior citizens.
There's some in their 50s, but most of them are, I'd say 90% of the people who volunteer there are retired, like 65 and over. I know, like.
Are you talking about, Kent? Are you talking about a cruise ship and only older folks? Uh-uh. There is a lot of younger ladies, and I'm talking about of adult age, so you won't be interested in that, Kent, that let it all hang out.
So, thanks for letting me take over your show today, Tom.
That was interesting. I like seeing stuff like that, and I hope other people maybe they're like, oh, maybe I need to look at Auction Zip and see what's going on there.
I'm telling you, look into your local auctions for stuff you can buy and sell.
Because
the vast majority of what I sell is from auctions.
Right.
Like those pizza cutters.
Right.
That came from a Waco Independent School District overstock sellout thing. In fact, they may have been at the Waco High School. And I got 18 of those and only have 4 left. No, I've only got 3 left.
Wow.
And I got them all for like a couple of bucks a piece, and I'm set. In fact, I upped my price, and I've already sold one at the new price,
Hey,
60
Glenn.
bucks.
Well, you know how it's done.
No,
So,
Jake, the watch hasn't sold yet. I guess I've overpriced it.
which watch?
The one we got at the yard sales in Nashville.
Oh, that one. The one that Chris and I left sitting on the.
Yeah, just leave $50. I've had it listed for like $70, so I guess I'll drop it down to about 50 and get it sold. But how much did it cost me?
$1.
$1. I put a battery in it and sprayed it with Windex and wiped it off. It looks brand new.
Oh, when we
Yeah.
were in, real fast, like when we were in Aruba, they have a parking deck and they have all of these, or not parking deck, parking lot, and they all the buses, the tour buses and stuff like that come in.
Yeah, Swamp, $49.99.
And I don't know what they're called. They're not the full size buses, but they're like the smaller buses, like you would take. I think they use them to run back and forth to hotels and things like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Anyway, they're all these colors, painted colors and whatnot. And I started laughing because all I could think of was, damn, that's what Jake needs to get to the next reseller meetup. He could just load everybody up in that thing and pull up to somebody's house and 20 people come pouring out of it. Anyway, $1
Yeah.
conversion for 2 months. Yeah.
I've sold about half the stuff I got from Nashville.
You sold the pencils, right?
I've
Or the,
sold about 2/3. Yeah, I've got about 4 of the pencils left. Selling them for $10 plus shipping.
that's it, tack.
And I got a box of what? There were 11 in there. So and that box cost $1.
Todd's going to be laying in the hospital. Oh, you know, he could go at any time, and he's gonna tell Gwen. He's gonna motion Gwen to call Tom and Chris and Jake and tell them to. I need to see him one last time. And we're all there around his bed, and he's going to, motion for everybody to come closer so he don't have to talk so loud. And he's going to go, "You fools left a $50 bill on the table,
I know.
and it only cost you $1." All right.
We had some good buys at that. Yeah, well, I wonder. I think Chris sold all of his stuff in bulk
All
stuff.
those pieces of jewelry or whatever.
Yeah. They
All
weren't
right.
jewelry. They were trinket boxes.
Yeah. All right, guys. Y'all have a great day. Ciao for now. Bye.